Hi guys, welcome back. So I uploaded a video of a copy carver, and then if you follow me on Instagram, you know why, but it didn't work. So here's what we're doing. I trimmed the original handguards to fit. I soaked them in acetone, bleached them, pulled them out, trimmed them to fit the gun so I could go ahead and just stain these myself. So we're trying to replicate this sort of stain here, which if you've seen my other videos, you've seen before. See that sort of tiger stripe in it? That's what we're trying to do. So we have a black stain, Rust-Oleum ebony stain. We have our bleached handguards, and this is sort of what I came up with on my first one. So the reason we're doing this first is I think by the time we do the coat over top of the red mahogany, and then on top of that the RIT dyed urethane, I think it's gonna hide them a little bit so they're not so prominent and black out in the open. But good thing about stain is if you screw it up, you can always go back and block it right back off. So that's what we're doing with that one. I wanted to do it off camera just to see how it went. Now we're gonna go ahead and do this one, which has not been done yet. This one, as you can see, has been trimmed for the gas tube lever on the Vepr. So we're basically using like a little art, a thin little art brush, and getting stain. And we're going to start at the edge. It's a little too much stain. Start at the edge, paint up. But prep work is very important. So if you have a set of used handguards like this, submerge them totally in acetone. It doesn't take that long. I've seen guys do it like for an entire day and then pull it out. What I did was I used an ammo can, and I submerged them in acetone for probably an hour, and then pulled them out and wiped off the oil, whatever oil they use in Russia, probably tung oil, something like that, starts to leach out of it. And then sort of like whenever oil hits water, how it kind of pulls, how it wants to puddle together, that's kind of what it does. There's a bunch of little puddles on top. I basically just wiped those off, put it back in, and it only took like 3 or 4 hours, and they were good to go. And then I put them in bleach. I did finally find a guy, like simply hours after I had tried to duplicate him myself. I found a guy online who does gun stocks, and he lists being a specialist in military gun stocks, and he put the Norinco NDM, or I think it's NDM. I don't know, I always get confused about that, but the Norinco version of the SVD, he had on there that he does the buttstocks, and I said, hey, do you do handguards for them? I said, if you don't have them, I can provide the originals, because I have the originals here. And he said, yeah, no problem. So if this doesn't work out, then I'll be sending them to him to duplicate in Tigerwood. A lot of people probably watching right now, and my brother included, think that I'm just going a little bit overboard with this, that I'm too worried about the the stocks, or well, the handguards being tiger wood and matching the stocks. I mean, it's, after all, it is a Russian gun, and they kind of care less about matching and excellent finishes and things like that, which is probably true, but it's what I want, so it's what I'm doing. Here is the finished product on this one. We're gonna let that dry a little while, and then we're gonna come back and stain it with red mahogany stain. I don't think that one's Rust-Oleum. I can't remember. I'll show it to you later. But I'll be back in, well, for you it'll be just seconds. Alright, so it's been about an hour. Now we're going to apply, you can see, yep, red mahogany min wax. This is the same stain that I used for the stock and the Ryland Arms handguard. Ryland Arms stock and handguard. This stuff does not dry quite as fast as the Rust-Oleum, so this will be the last thing I can do for several hours. Just gonna stir it up here. One thing, if you don't know about stains, you do not shake them, you stir them. Same thing with urethane, because you'll get bubbles in it and then it will turn out like crap. I'm just gonna stir this up here a minute. Alright, then this, what we're using to apply it is cheesecloth. They sell this at Walmart, Lowe's, any store like that. But this is how I prefer to apply stain. Comes in big sheets. You have to cut it off, so you can see I fold the cut edges underneath. And then we'll do this. There's another review on YouTube, well, not a review, an instructional on YouTube by NSZ85, where he does a Russian red on his AK, and it turns out really well, and that's actually where I learned a lot of the stuff from. So, I'm gonna wipe off our screwdriver here. The reason we fold over the cut edges is just to try to avoid getting any sort of little fibers in our finish. So now we're just going to dip this in the stain, wipe it on. It looks really dark probably right now, because it is really dark right now, but this one we're not going to let to seep in and dry on its own. There's a lot of rough patches. Alright, make sure you dab the ends of the wood so you don't have that sticking out and visible. And then we're going to apply just a light coat right in all these areas. This inside I haven't really done anything with because it's the inside, but we just want to make sure if you can see through the handguard that you're not looking through the uncoated wood. So just a real quick light coat in there. Alright, and then before it dries, you don't want it to dry, because then it'll seep down into the wood and you'll never get the color back out. This is just a base color. So what we're going to do, now that it's been sitting for a couple minutes, wipe it off. Same with the inside. Now I've got stain all over my hands, which I should have worn gloves for this. And it actually looks like we may have to put some black over top of this because it looks like it washed out all the black I had before. Rust-Oleum says good to go in an hour, but I don't think it is. Either that or this color is just overpowering. But no, I don't think so. I think it just wiped it all off. So, here we are, learning together. Do this first and then do the black, because now it's just been a waste of time. Alright, no big deal. I'm gonna go get rid of this paper towel and wash my hands, and we'll be back. Alright, so we're back from class now, and I've just let them dry. I've done in all the little gaps with what we're about to do. You can see there I just use a little paintbrush, get in there with them. I used a Q-tip on the other ones, didn't work quite as well. The paintbrush actually worked a whole lot better, but this is leftover from last time. If you saw me in that video, then you know what I did, but if you didn't, what I did was took a semi-gloss urethane, and well, first it was 2 packs of old Scarlet Rit dye. They tell me you have to use the old stuff because the new stuff is a different formulation and it will gum up in urethane. So you take the old stuff and put acetone in it, and then rinse it through a coffee filter to get all the crystals out, and then fill it back up with urethane, and then this is basically what we get. Obviously the shelf life is as long as any other urethane, and this is perfectly fine. Looks the exact same as when I did it. So what we're going to do now is hope that our stripes stay as we put this on here. We're just going to do one thin coat to cover up the stripe and not brush it away. That should be everything we need. Sorry if the light in here sorry if the light in here isn't very good, but I think you get the idea of what I'm doing here. This is a foam brush, so it does impart some bubbles. You basically can just wipe them out though. The brushes I used last time weren't nearly this bad. These are like causing tons and tons of bubbles. Maybe these are just lower quality, I don't know, but last time I had like no bubbles at all. This time there's a lot of them. So take that for what it is. Maybe get higher quality brushes when you do yours, if you plan on doing something like this. Looks like the stripes are going to stay in. Actually, this looks perfect. I don't have the gun out here to show you the stock, but this looks perfect. You can see all the little bubbles in there. It's actually kind of nuts how many. So we're going to stop right there with that, so we can let that urethane harden over top of the stripes and then not have to worry about it anymore. Alright, Alright, second piece. You're going to definitely want to do this over top of something like paper, like I'm doing, so your wife doesn't want to slaughter you when she gets home. Let's be honest, she'll probably want to do that anyway, but minimize the desire all you can. I'm actually thinking these bubbles are just due to the wood being rougher. Alright. So give me just a second. I'm going to go get shit. I just touched the old one. Or the other one. Looks okay. Alright, I'm going to go grab the stock and bring it out here so you can see a side-by-side comparison. This actually is amazing how well this turned out. You'll be surprised. Get this closed up so we don't have an accident here. Alright, hang on just a second. Alright guys, moving on a little bit. So we had one kind of problem. Let me just tilt you up here so you can see me. So whenever I did it before, you've seen all that, you've seen what I did. So I did our first coat of the red and it came out so dark that you couldn't actually even see the black in it. I didn't have that problem with the other one, and then I remembered that after I did the stain on the other one, the stock and the handguards, that, well, first off I did aqua fortis on them, so that's changed the profile of the stain altogether. And then I did aqua fortis and then stained it, and then I rubbed it back with steel wool. This I have it over there. It's 4-aught steel wool is what I used. And I realized that probably rubbed some of the color out of it. So the good thing about finishing wood, you can just get rid of it and go back to the beginning. So what I did was got rid of it and went back to the beginning. I stripped it all back with 220 grit, and then basically we started over, except for I didn't add more stain. I just blocked it back. And then so now I'll just show you what we have here. We have a much lighter color. It's still a little bit lighter than the original stock, but this, remember, is an entirely different kind of wood, and this is a laminate. So we have different layers of wood showing through, just because that's the nature of laminate. Like one layer, when you sand, will rub out and show the layer underneath. And that's kind of the effect that you're getting here. You can see right there in the center we have a darker patch. That's from just different areas of laminate, and then we have the stripe showing through. So this color is not perfect, but it's pretty close. And see, it's a little bit brighter red there, but this turned out a little bit darker than the stock anyway. But it's a little bit brighter red. There's not as much amber, but remember, these are two totally different kinds of wood as well. So that's what we're dealing with. And that handguard's actually not nearly as pretty as the stock either, but so this is what we got. Let me grab the other one here so you can see the other one. This one had a little bit more laminate, like another layer showing through a little bit more there. But it turned out pretty well. I'm pretty happy with it. So at this point, I don't think we're going to send in handguards to be duplicated. I think we're just going to go with this. Now it's come time for high gloss. So this step is easy. It's you're just rubbing on urethane. It's nothing special at all, but this appears to be pretty stuck here as well. But anyway, this is going to be the last interesting part, I guess. I mean, this isn't even really that interesting. This is just a high gloss finish, but that doesn't actually want to come out either. See if we can break the seal a little bit. Yeah. Oh, by the way, the barrel is on the way. Officially, the barrel's on the way. I got a tracking number yesterday. It will be here. Today is Wednesday that I'm making this video. I'll probably upload it tonight. Actually, no, I probably won't upload it tonight. Maybe, I don't know. It doesn't actually matter. The point is, the barrel's on the way and it will be here in less than a week. That's awesome. And we'll get it to a gun shop, get it turned down. I might work on it myself. I haven't quite decided because the guy I was originally going to go to and the guy I still currently have plans to go to is a little bit far away. And I have the tools to press in a barrel, so why not just have him turn it down, chamber it, and I'll press it in myself. And then we'll worry about a finish later. If I want to do Duracoat or Cerakote, I'm going to do one of them for sure. I'm not going to park and paint or anything like that. And just park, I don't care for it that much. Oh wow, this is such a pretty red color. I almost want it to, it almost makes me want to sand down the stock and redo it. That high gloss really makes it pop. It's coming out really pretty. This is going to be awesome. That's got me excited. I might just do that tonight. Alright, next one. Anyway, back to what I'm doing. We're going to put a coat on right now. If I remember correctly, the high gloss dries a little bit faster than the semi. So we might be able to get 2 coats on tonight, but either way, we're basically going to do 1, maybe 2 coats, and then we'll get our steel wool out. And we'll steel wool the surface just to take care of any brush strokes that we're getting, which is bound to happen. I mentioned earlier that I was getting a lot of bubbles in the finish. That was just simply a surface that wasn't perfectly smooth. Whenever I went back and sanded everything off to redo it, that was no longer a problem. I'm not getting any bubbles anymore. It's pretty. Alright, so you can kind of tell that the stripes aren't real, but it actually, I don't think it's going to matter. I think it's still going to be really pretty either way. See, there's some light for you. It's a really pretty red color. It's got some tones of black in it from that mahogany stain, because it goes on almost like almost purplish by the time you sand it back a little bit. So either way, this is looking beautiful. I'm extremely happy with the color we're getting here. Like honestly, more so than the tiger wood that I have in my other one. Like it's pretty, but it's not this pretty. This is beautiful. But neither one of them have really been out in the light, so trying to brush a hair out right now, freaking dog hair. Don't be an idiot like me. Don't do this somewhere where there's a dog roaming around. That's going to get hair in your finish. Nice thin coat of high gloss. Alright. a couple of bubbles isn't that big of a deal, because like I said, we're gonna come back and steel wool the whole thing. And the reason I've gone all the way to high gloss before I decided to steel wool was so that we can get layers over top of the stripes, because I think I said it in the other video, I think I said it earlier, that whenever I applied the stain, the stripes came right out of it. So now I'm trying to get multiple layers on top so that when I go to steel wool it, that I don't steel wool down into the stripes. So this is looking awesome. Couldn't be more excited about this. Couldn't be more excited about the fact that I'm getting my barrel finally, which that was actually a really good story. Maybe I'll go ahead and tell that. I ordered the barrel on October 25th, or not, I said October. I ordered the barrel on, August 25th. And you can do a custom contour, which obviously I needed to make a barrel for an AK. Like a 1 1/4 thick blank is not gonna work for an AK. Tried that. The gunsmith wanted $1,300 to cut it down. So I gave him a document that I drew out with the length, the dimension at each length. I sent that to him, and he said, okay, attach to your order. Well, 8 weeks goes by, and a little bit over 8 weeks actually. It was like 8 weeks and 4 days. So I just sent an email by and said, hey, was just checking up on my barrel. Let me know when you need the second half of the payment. And he said, we're still waiting on your drawing. And this is McGowan Precision Barrels, by the way. McGowan is where I ordered it. Basically just because Packnor seemed confused about what I wanted, and Krieger is like a 9-month wait, and I've heard of McGowan having good barrels. So he said, we're waiting on your drawing, and I said, I sent that to you 8 weeks ago in an email, and you reassured me the same day that it had been attached to my order, and attached it to the email again. And he said, oh wow, they must have lost the drawing, which maybe they did, or maybe it was never actually attached to the order, but either way, he said, okay, I'll get that sent down to my machinist right now. And I said, so am I going to have to wait another 8 weeks? And he said, absolutely not. No, it'll be done in 2 days, which is awesome. I mean, they obviously have got a lot to do. Like, if we have to wait 8 weeks for a barrel, then he's got a lot on his plate, right? He's got a lot of orders coming in and out. So for him to be able to get it out in 2 days, and he did, sent me an invoice in 2 days, said it was ready to ship. I sent payment, and that was a little bit of an issue too, but that wasn't their fault. And then yesterday I got a tracking number. So it's actually been about 9 weeks, but considering what happened, that's amazing. Very happy with McGowan at this point. Can only hope the barrel's gonna shoot very well. I'm sure it will. But we're coming down to getting my AK-74 done, as well as my friend's 1903. So where was I going with this? Oh yeah, trying not to spend. I know you get what you pay for, but a machinist is going to do a good job, so I want him to machine the barrel, and I will press it in myself with my tools that I have specifically for pressing AK barrels. And then we'll see, maybe I'll drill the barrel pin myself, maybe not, but I'm trying to avoid the $800 build fee if I can. Of course, Cerakote's going to cost $250, that's fine. Machining the barrel, I mean, won't cost that much because he's not taking a whole lot off it. Like I said, he's only taking about 20 thousandths off at each journal. So I'm hoping maybe we can cut like $300 out of there somewhere, so he's not gonna have to play with gas port sizes because we got an adjustable gas block. So we'll get him to drill a gas hole, and then it should be cool. We should be able to cut some money out of there somewhere, but we'll see. If not, it's okay. The gun will just have to take longer. But thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to me rant for like 7 minutes. I hope you're excited. I'm actually going to start working on the retainer for these, because I think I told you before that the Vepr barrel is a lot thicker than a PSL barrel, and these, which go on the front, are meant for a PSL barrel. You can see there, PSL barrel. The Vepr barrel is like another 2/10 bigger than that. So I'm going to go out and get the Vepr barrel, I believe, at the gas block, which would be the same diameter as this, is 0.802 or 820. I think it's 0.802 was the actual dimensions, 802 thousandths. So this is 610 thousandths. So basically the idea was, I don't have like a nice drill press or anything. So the plan I have currently is to take a 3/4 inch drill bit and get these all set up together and chuck tight and run a 3/4 inch drill bit, because we all know that there's a variance in a drill press itself, and then a person doing it with a hand drill is going to be even more of a variance. So the way I figured, if it's a 3/4 inch drill bit, 0.750, and I'm off, we should be very close to like 0.780 probably by the time. So we'll be working on that very soon. I'll give you updates as much as I can. This is awesome, very excited. So thank you for watching, thank you for coming along. We're getting closer and closer every day. So I hope you're enjoying the videos. Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching.